Hello, everyone, and welcome. I am your host, RMZ. This is Healthy Mentality Live, where I try to shift the focus to men's health and start normalizing these discussions so men can feel safe about having discussions about their health, bringing others into the community, whether that's GLP-1 or health in general. Before we get started, a few housekeeping items. I am not a medical professional, and neither is my guest. My guest, AJ, with me tonight is also not a medical professional. We are just sharing our perspectives and our experiences. None of this is meant to be medical advice. If you hear something, feel free to write it down and then go talk to your medical professional about it before making any changes. I want to thank you all for tuning in tonight. Please like and share. We'll try to do a Q&A at the end of this. So if you have any questions, please preface it with QQQ so I can easily filter the chat to find it. And with that said, I am going to bring tonight's guest on, my man AJ. AJ, welcome.
How are you?
Doing great. How about yourself?
Good, man.
First of all, thank you for joining us tonight and sharing your story. Okay, we want to give a brief intro about who you are and your background a little bit.
So I'm AJ Cook, also known as AJ Big Boy to Slim Boy on the platforms, I guess. And I have lost over 200 pounds in the past 3 years. Um, yeah, that's basically it. Family man, two daughters, one wife. They keep me pretty busy other than work, and got a couple of dogs outside of that. Big Cornhusker fan, so if you know anything about Nebraska football, it hasn't been pretty for a while. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I used to follow the Huskers a lot back in the day when Tommy Frazier was there, and the vaulted black shirt defense. Actually, one of my college friends is married to Joe Wilkes from the Pipeline, Nebraska offensive
okay,
lineman. Yeah.
yeah,
But
Tommy,
I'm a, let's go ahead.
Tommy frequents like a lot of places here in town, so we will bump into him every once in a while. He's a great guy, talk to people and take pictures. He's to me one of the best college football players of all time. So
Yeah, he was awesome. Me myself, I'm a Trojan fan, so we're in the same conference now. So I got to actually get out there to catch a game next time SC is in Lincoln.
that'd be cool. You would love Lincoln, man.
Yeah,
The
definitely.
fans are nice and respectful, and for the most part,
Yeah,
I'm not saying there's an bad people in there, but there's a lot of really good people that love football. So
that's great. That's great. So, your story is is the disease obesity. Is it something that you dealt with your entire life, or is it something that came to you later in life? What's your background on that?
I gotta say, like I remember being like 5 and 6, being overweight, and it never got any better. I remember at points when I was younger, like my pants would be so tight that they would like dig into my sides. So then I have scars on my sides from my pants digging in so much when I was younger, because I grew out of my clothes so fast. Like my mom couldn't keep me in clothes fast enough. Basically, we were very poor, so I kind of had to work with what I had at the point. So
Yeah, yeah, I can understand that myself, definitely. Um, I can't remember. Did you play any sports growing up?
I played football and I wrestled.
Yeah.
Wrestling definitely. I wrestled heavyweight and I played on the line for in high school and in junior high. So the I was always heavyweight. I could remember being in junior high being 235, 225, and then in high school I was 275, and sometimes I had to cut to make weight. So
So you were still, I mean, even though you were in a larger size body, you were still active.
very
Even
active.
you had to cut weight. Yeah.
Yeah, we would play
So
basketball all the time. We because I got seven brothers, so We were very active, baseball, basketball. We did tons of stuff outside. We were never really stuck inside for the most part. So
7 brothers, wow. A lot of fighting going on there, huh?
yeah, you got to
Mm,
learn how to
ma
throw hands real early at when you got that many brothers. So
roughhousing. Um,
mhm.
so before you started a GLP-1, you tried, I'm assuming you tried diet and exercise, calories in, calories out type thing. How was that? Was
Yeah.
that successful for you?
So I was very good at losing weight, but I'm very good at gaining weight also. So I lost 100 pounds 4 times before this time, before having, before starting a GLP-1. So I had lost and I gained, and it was always for the wrong reasons. And I know that now. Like, I never was doing it to be healthy. I was always doing it to be, um, I was always doing it to try to look good or prove myself to people or for lots of other reasons other than being healthy.
So you weren't necessarily doing it for yourself, but you figured that out now, sounds like.
Yes. Yeah. I
And
figured out like if I didn't, then I wasn't going to be here. So,
so putting on and taking off that weight multiple times, was that like a mental thing for you, or did it bother you, your mindset, or is it something that you just compartmentalize and didn't even think about it?
I think a lot of it is depression because I would lose the weight and then I would do something like a vacation or a wedding or something, and then next thing you know, it'd be a week later, and I'd be back up 20 pounds, and I'd be like, "How did I gain 20 pounds in a week?" Because I was always, like I said, I'm very good at gaining weight, and it was just very frustrating. And then I would just go off the deep end, like it doesn't matter. I'm just gonna keep gaining it anyways.
Yeah, so you have that vicious cycle where you lose the weight, start seeing it come back on, and then you feel kind of hopeless, and it compounds the issue and all of that.
Yeah, I felt like I had to be 100% all the time. If I wasn't 100% perfect all the time, then I was just gonna gain my weight back again.
Now, before starting a GLP-1, did you have any obesity related health issues?
So that's how kind of the whole thing started. Um, in 2022, I think it was, or 21. I can't remember exactly what year I started now. It's been three. Oh, so 2022, I had like a pinched nerve in my shoulder because I was working out. I was trying to do, lose some weight. And I go to a chiropractor and he's like, "Oh, yeah, I can fix this pinched nerve." And so when he was adjusting me, he broke my neck.
Wow.
So I was 466 pounds, broke my neck, couldn't walk for 3 weeks. And I just like, you know, went into a deep, deep depression.
See, that's something I'm always scared of when I go get an adjustment is something like that happening. Um, and I didn't know how you broke your neck, so that's news to me. I knew you had broke it twice, and C5 and C6. Um, I imagine
I
that
don't
has
want
to
to talk
be,
about the second time.
yeah,
The second time was horrible. The second time I tripped over a rug and I was
yeah.
in recovery from the first one. And when I hit my head, I broke the I think it was C6 and C7. So C7 the second time. So,
Sorry, my dog is barking. Sorry.
oh, all good.
So tripping over a rug the second time, and I'm sure
Yep.
that just extended the recovery and also probably compounded the weight gain since you're not as active and you're probably going to a bit of a depression still.
So I really hit depressed after the second time. Like, because in between it, I was trying to lose weight and I was working on my mental, and I was like, this is the time we're going to do it. I'm going to lose weight this time. And because I had, let me start again in a sense. I So there was one day before I went to any doctors because I was anti-doctor, anti-drug, anti-everything before this all started. I went and see my doctor after, and I was having trouble walking, and he's like, you just need to. He was trying to just push bariatric. He said it was all my weight. Didn't have it. He never did a X-ray or anything. And at the time, I didn't know that I had to push for myself. Fight for yourself because it was very irritating with the doctor. So the so Sunday night I fell before I had surgery on Monday, and I couldn't get back up, and it was like an hour and a half. And my wife was like gonna call the squad, and I just sat there and I prayed to God, and I told God, I was like, listen, if you let me get up this one time, and I figure out what's going on, I'm gonna I'm gonna lose the weight this time for real, and I'm gonna try to help as many people as I can along the way. So after I broke it the second time, I was like, this is a sign. Like maybe I'm not supposed to be any inspiration or anything like that. And hold on, sorry, I'm just getting bad feedback. There we go. And so I just after the second one, I just went into like this deep depression, and then I was like, but it just kept getting worse. Like my walking wasn't getting any better after the second surgery, and nothing was getting any better.
Yeah, you talk about your experience with your doctor. I've had that same experience. I badly needed my hip replaced, and the doctor I went to, he's one of those like billboard looking doctors with the hair slicked back, and he's probably driving a Ferrari or something, and he just looks at me and tells me I need to lose weight, and it's like I can't get active because of my hip, and I'm putting on weight, and he wouldn't deal with me, so I ended up having to go to another doctor who finally was able to help me and get my hip replaced and get me moving and active. So I completely understand what you're going through there, and that also reminds me of a comment that you made, and I think it was a live that you were in recently, where you said that you went to a woman doctor, and completely changed your world. And I was like, that resonated with me because I had that same experience. I've completely switched to women doctors going forward as my primary care doctor. If I can find a woman doctor for a specialist, then that's what I'm going to do as long as they're rated right. Because I found that the women doctor tend to be more empathetic to what you are going through and try to find solutions instead of being submissive. At least that's been my experience, and it sounds like that was your experience as well.
Yeah, so I asked him like a year before I even broke my neck. I asked him to put me on Ozempic because I had heard about it they're like, oh, like I was gonna try it. I was gonna try anything. And all he wanted to do was push bariatric. But now I know because I was on my way to bariatric if this didn't work this time. I know like there's nothing wrong with bariatric. I was just anti it all at the time,
Yeah.
So I didn't want to do that. I was trying not to have surgery. I thought I would die on the table, to be honest, if I even went to have a bariatric surgery. So,
Well, some of your apprehension probably because of mindset that men have, especially in those that have a sports background, is I'm going to do it myself. I'm a man, and I just need to suck it up and knock it out.
100%.
Yeah, yeah, I can relate to that. Um, so you start your GLP. When did you start your GLP-1?
So I started my journey August 1st, but I didn't start a GLP-1 until September sometime
That's
of 20
2023.
2023. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was with the OG savings card, as they call it. It was 25 bucks a month. It was great. It actually, my insurance paid for or did it until the end of 2024, basically. So I had paid 25 all the way till then. So I had coverage for it for a very long time before they were like, oh, because I'm not diabetic. So they're like, oh, you're not diabetic, so you can't have it. So
Is that
and then they
Manjaro or
kicked me out.
elliptic?
Mojaro.
Manjaro.
Yeah. Yeah. So I went to that woman doctor and she I also had to learn how to eat through this. Like it wasn't just the medication, I had to learn, like maybe 500 carbs a day wasn't a good idea.
Yeah.
So she helped me learn like, hey, you can eat this, you can do this, you get more substance if you eat this, and so she helped me with trying to keep my carbs down to not a minimum, but lower than it was. She didn't try to make me go keto or nothing, but then uh, and then she was like, "Yeah, well, we can put you on Manjaro and help me with the savings card and all that stuff." So she got me going with that, and it went for a very long time.
And you eventually lost coverage, right?
Yeah, the end of 2024.
Yeah, and I remember that. And you started a regain. Is that when that happened? When you lost coverage, or
Yeah, I
did you?
was pretty frustrated with the whole coverage thing. I was pretty
Yeah,
frustrated with it. And so I tried to stop. I tried to quit completely. I quit and I was like, I just need to be a man and man up. And, I'd been down already by that time. I'd already done a lot of great things by that time with my weight loss. And I was like, you just need to man up and be a man. And I came off it cold turkey. And I don't know if you know this, but going from 10 to cold turkey is not the smartest idea.
yeah,
I totally, and so but I also had a foot injury at the time. So I was immobile, couldn't go to the gym for about a month and a half. So by the time I went back to the gym, I was already back up to 315. Like I said, I can gain weight really good. But before I stopped, I was 250. I uh so I gained back about 65 pounds because I try to stay around 250 now.
yeah,
Um, I like to keep as much muscle on my body as possible, but that's me. That's my preference. So, uh, I'm not saying anything. I just saying I like that where my body looks around 250. So,
yeah, yeah. That's definitely a different preference for everyone. So I mean, no harm in that. Whatever you feel comfortable in, that's healthy for you and makes you feel comfortable. And I know that you are a big proponent of working out, lifting weight, strength training, and all of that. So much so that you um, competed in a bodybuilding contest and won. Can you talk about that for a little bit?
yeah. So I had a personal trainer. So I got lucky. I had this personal trainer. Shout out to Big Kent. If you ever meet him, the dude's amazing. He had 1,000 pound squat. That's what made him famous. But he he started a new program. They were on what he calls seasons. They were on season 3 by the time I started with them. He was looking for somebody that was over 400 pounds. And my wife's friend, who was dating him at the time, called my wife and she was like, "You think AJ or you would want to do this?" And she was like, "Well, I don't want to do that because it's like a powerlifting kind of gym, bodybuilder, powerlifting. But will you?" She's like, "Have AJ, have him call AJ and talk to AJ." So he calls me. I remember I was about to get on a plane in Florida, and my wife had sent me the videos of some of his transformations, and So I watched him, I talked to him, and he's like, "We're gonna get you going, we're gonna get you started." And I was like, "I don't know, man. I don't know if my body can do it because I was hurting a lot at that point in
Yeah.
time." Yeah. And I don't know if I didn't know if I could do what was required of me to do 8 weeks with him is what a season is. And he's like, "No, we just need to get you in here." So I remember getting on the plane and I sat in front like an idiot. And every person that walked past me, man, just like looked at me, didn't sit next to me, and just kept on going. And but like every person, it was a packed plane. Nobody sat next to me, and I was like, it was with Southwest, so there wasn't no assigned seating, and I was like embarrassed to be on this plane being so big, and I was like, you know what, maybe it's right, maybe I do need to go in there. So
Oh,
I got
back up.
back.
I'm sorry to interrupt. Was this before or after you had started a GLP-1?
This is before GLP-1.
Yeah.
So I started the doctor one week, met Kent the next. So
Okay.
it's kind of so the doctor got me approved for Manjaro, but I didn't start it till about, like I said, about mid September. So, and I started with Kent the first week in September. So the day after Labor Day,
Okay. So
like
you were
September
still in your 400s at this time when you were on the plane, just to give everyone a visual.
442 pounds
Yeah.
when I was at that, when I started with Kent. So, and this was like a couple of days before then when I was on the plane. My cousin had gotten married in Florida, and it was just very embarrassing for me being that big, and people staring at me. And so I talk to him. He takes my before pictures, which is the one with the red Nebraska tank top, and so the top corner there. And he goes, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do this. So I come first day, he's like, I want you to come to this spot. There's another guy gonna start, his name's Tony. And you guys are both 400 pounds. You guys are within some weight of each other. So you guys are going to start together and you're going to see how it goes. And you're going to do really well. So so I'm like, all right. And then I was very scared. I was terrified. Never been terrified to walk into the gym before like I was with it. Like people with the gym anxiety, when they talk about gym anxiety, I totally got it then because I was sitting outside of my car before I walked in for the first time because I didn't know anybody. I didn't know Kent really. I just met him. I didn't know anybody that was going to be there. And, bodybuilders and a lot of people that were a lot more fit than I was my idea that was going to be in this gym. And so I called my wife and I'm like, listen, I can't do this. And she's like, you've been to the gym before. And I was like, I, I can't, I can't walk in there. And she says, stop being a PUSSY and get in the gym, AJ. I was like, all right. So only time my wife has ever told me that, she never told me that a day in my life. And it was what I needed. So I walked in, I met Tony and and I met Iggy had lost a bunch of weight with him in this first season. And I met Pat, who had lost a bunch of weight with him in the second season. And so I was in his third season. So Iggy had lost like 50 some pounds. Pat lost like 50 pounds in 8 weeks, which is astronomical amount for a guy. And I was like, so I start, and me and Tony were going back and forth. Me and Tony become really good friends. Me and Iggy and Pat are really good friends. And I said, I look at Kent and I said, hey man, I'm going to take the record. And he goes, you're going to take the record. It's 50 some pounds. You think you can lose that in 8 weeks? I said, for sure. Don't get me wrong. I had MJ to help me, but I was like, but I went for it. So the first 8 weeks, I lost 72 pounds with them. And I was, and so that's the picture of me in the gray shirt. So that's after 8 weeks with Kent and on MJ. So, and then I can't remember exactly, but it'd be Christmas of 24. It probably is the bottom picture where I have the gray hat on. That should be so that's about a year and a half. So that's at me at my lowest, which I was like 228, but I felt very weak when I was in the gym at that weight, and I just didn't like the way I felt. So my body looked good. I was very I best I had looked in my whole life, but I just didn't like the way I didn't like the way I felt.
Hold on, they're saying they're hearing an echo on you. You guys still hearing an echo for AJ?
Sorry.
No
I
worries.
tried. How about now? Better?
Chad, are you guys still hearing an echo? No one's saying anything, so I think we're good.
Okay. Sorry about that, man.
No worries. So
Uh
the bottom right corner is about a year and a half in. I think you said you were like 226.
that might have been it. 228 or 226, yeah.
Okay.
And
And you
but I didn't feel good. Like I felt weak. I didn't like the way I felt.
so so you're back up to somewhere around 250 now. So what's the mindset going from 400 plus pounds, and your mindset is I'm going to get down, and you're looking at the scale go down and down and down, and then you get down to the bottom, and then all of a sudden you say I want to go up. How does that mess with your mind when you start stepping on the scale? How does that
It be honest with you, I wasn't really for once in my life I wasn't scared to gain weight. Like cuz I knew if for some reason something happened, I always had GLPs in the background one way or another to figure it out. And I knew like but I knew like if I wanted to be stronger in the gym, if I wanted to do a lot of the things that I wanted to do, I would need to add some weight eventually. Have kind of like a bodybuilding mindset for the rest of my life with gaining a little bit of weight here, losing a little bit of weight here, going back and forth, which I'm very good at,
yeah.
which I've said. So
Have you done anything like a DEXA scan to know your percentages, your composition, so you
so
know
I didn't do a
what you're
DEXA
targeting?
scan. I did. So the Y has these ones, and I don't know if they're correct or not, but the Y that I have in town has one of those scans, and I did that. It says that I lost something like 0.03% muscle the whole time because I got lucky and I did a scan very early, which I was kind of terrified to do in front of a bunch of people, to be honest with you. But I did it because it's out in the open in the middle of the Y. And but I did it, and then so about every 2 months I'll go back and forth and I'll check it just to make sure like that my muscle mass isn't going down, or I'm trying to make it go up. But from that picture to that picture, it said I only lost 0.03, which I don't know how accurate it was.
Awesome. So how has your relationship with food changed over this 3-year period?
I still like food.
Yeah.
I still I don't say I have honestly probably better than it was before because I use food as like a crutch, or I still like food. I just know that a lot of my goals are centered around food. So if I eat right, then I can get to my goals. And if I eat wrong, I'm just going to fail at getting my goals, which I like to get at my goals at this point. So
Yeah. And how has your health outcomes changed since starting this journey?
my outcomes,
Yeah, your health outcomes, blood
Oh,
pressure.
my health.
Yeah,
Oh, that's great.
yeah,
See, I always used to tell people all the time, eh, besides telling people that I used to like being fat, which was a lie, but I used to tell people all the time I was the healthiest fat person you ever met in your life because all my blood pressure, all the scales that should have said that I was morbidly obese, you know, there was never a red flag. There was no diabetes. I ended up being pre-diabetic when I went to the doctor the one time, but I never actually got to being a diabetic. So
yeah. So all your blood work was great, and your blood pressure and everything was still great, even at your highest weight.
yeah, the doctor
That's
even was very surprised.
that's amazing. Was there any discussion with the doctor about, if you continue down this path, then these things will start red flagging?
He did say that.
Yeah,
Honestly, I would have rather take one of those than breaking my neck. To be honest with you,
yeah,
I, I would have took high blood pressure over this crap any day. Um, because there is some like lingering issues with my neck and stuff sometimes that I have to deal with. Uh, but it's just part of it at this point. I just deal with whatever I got to deal with. Whatever health issues that I have from here on out, I'm just gonna keep swinging for the fences. So
love that. Non-scale victories. Let's talk about those. What are your favorite NSVs?
I have a few. To be honest with you, I would say one of them is I had my oldest. She's 17 now, but when she was 15, I got to ride a roller coaster with her for the first time. And her being her whole life seeing me be over because she never seen me under 320. Like that was the lightest she seen me, but that's still a pretty big guy at my height and everything. So she had never seen me or be able to be with me to do that. I also did uh, zip lining. Zip lining
Okay.
was pretty cool. Uh, and then just the bodybuilding show. That's a huge NSV in itself. I never put myself in a category with people um, that looked that way, that worked that hard, that was mentally and physically challenging themselves that way. And when I was able to do that, that was a big day for me.
Your one of yours is the roller coaster. All those are great, but one of your the roller coaster one, I have the same one, and like Grant, well, I seen in the chat, I had him on a few weeks ago. He had the same one. So my roller coaster is a theme amongst us men, being able to get on those thrill rides and have some fun. Um,
It's the last
I,
one I'll
I
do.
This is the last one, huh?
Yeah, it terrified the crap out of me. I'm not gonna lie. I can't do another one. I cannot. I was like, no, one and done.
I
So
could I could dig that. Is that the same with zip lining? Done with that?
I didn't mind
Oh,
zip lining. Zip lining wasn't horrible. It was the moving around for the roller coaster because went so fast. Like maybe if it was a slower roller coaster, I would do it. Maybe not upside down. I did not like upside down. So
yeah.
zip lining was cool though.
The um the 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 contest. How long did you train for the building show before you're able to get into it?
I would say probably 6 months, but I can't say that. See, here's where the mind mess up thing about the whole thing is I didn't even feel like I was like in my best shape on stage, and I think I could have done better. Don't get me wrong, I won, but honestly, I don't think I put my best product on stage, and I wish I would have. And that's I think that's me not thinking stuff's good enough.
Yeah.
Like living in a bigger body your whole life, you always feel like you should have done better at everything you do, and it's a mental thing that I haven't been able to get myself out of it.
But man, that's an amazing journey. You went from 460 pounds, being embarrassed to get on an airplane to go to this gym, sitting outside in a parking lot because you were scared to go in at your larger size, to losing this weight, entering this contest, and winning the show. I mean, that has to do something for your confidence.
Yeah, it honestly, like, my friends. So I have a lot of bodybuilder friends now that were at the gym with me. I don't know that it really helped my confidence. My confidence was because they were doing shows too, and we were all kind of doing it together, and it was a lot of camaraderie with it. So I think that is the more confidence thing that I brought confidence from them. I took confidence from them. None of them were overweight at the time or done anything overweight. Well, that's not completely true, but they were doing different than just transformation like I did. So, but all amazing people, and if it wasn't for them, I think a lot of my friends at that gym helped me because I don't think I could have done it without them. So,
Yeah. And what was your diet like on your journey? And you talked previously about learning how to eat the right things, and then you
mhm.
get into this program where you are working out, lifting weights, and you need to feed your muscle, because of the GLP-1, and one because you are going at the weights hard. Um, how did how did your diet change over time? What were you eating during this journey, and how does that change now?
So I suggest this to a lot of people. I started very high. My calories are like 4,000 calories a day, um, and a lot of like carbs and stuff. But for some reason, I was still losing weight and I couldn't figure it out. But what it was is I was eating very clean, and so the 4,000 calories was so much food compared to the calories that I was eating before, which I've actually put the calculator before. I think I was eating around 10,000 calories a day, not knowing that I was eating that much in my.
So
I should have
you were
known,
still
but I
in a
didn't.
significant deficit. Yeah.
So I was still in a huge deficit. So I was losing like 10 pounds, 12 pounds a week, easily in the first, probably all the way through Christmas. Like I was still losing a ton of weight and being fine with it. And we didn't drop my calories down until we had to, basically. So like we had them really high for a long time there, and then we started taking a little bit here away, a little bit there away. Nothing huge. We never like dropped my calories. My calories never went below 2,000 until I was starting to work on the show, working with the show. So it, yeah, I I learned that whole foods are better than a lot of the processed stuff, and I eat very boring. Pug makes fun of me all the time for how I eat, but I like it. It keeps me straight. It does what I need it to do, and it keeps me fueled.
Yeah, pug is like a carnivore. I know two people in the chat right now will love to hear you saying whole foods over processed foods. Taisha and Mel would love to hear you say that. How many grams of protein were you targeting at this time?
Uh, Always over 200. I've never really gone under 200 this whole
Yeah.
journey. So 200, at least 200 is the lowest I did. I think when I started, it was closer to like 350. It was insane. It's a lot of protein, but I was full like the whole time. I was never hungry.
Yeah.
Like losing 100 pounds, like I think I lost it in, I want to say it was 3 months total when I got to 100, or maybe 3 months and a week. And but I was never hungry the whole time. It was the weirdest weight loss journey that I'd ever been on, because before I was restricting and I wasn't eating and I wasn't doing this and I wasn't doing that. And I would do hours upon hours of cardio. And I learned that I didn't have to do, an hour and a half on the treadmill or an hour on the stair steppers and stuff like that.
Yeah. So you're imagine you mentioned the treadmill there. So I imagine you were also doing a lot of cardio.
I did probably the most I've done this whole journey is about a half an hour a day. 20 minutes to a half an hour is what I do. About 4,000 steps. I don't even go very fast. Don't get me wrong. There was times when I was when with my gym and we would do like sprints and stuff like that. Which my sprints are probably like the slowest, like the turtle and the hare over there. I'd be the turtle for sure doing the sprints, but I was still trying my best.
But 30 minutes is more than enough. That's the minimum that you want to get. So going back here, I think I heard you say you lost 100 pounds in the first 3 months.
I think it was
Did I hear
about
that?
it was either that or maybe it was like three and a half, somewhere in there. I can't remember exactly. I'd have to really go back and look. But yeah, it was roughly about from the time I started uh with maybe no, it was I'm sorry, it was 4 months. It was 4 months by the time, because I had, but from August 1st to then is about the time. Yeah, it was about 4 months.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And doesn't
It
sound
was
like there
the
was any muscle
fastest I
wasting.
ever lost it.
Sorry, what was that?
It was the fastest I ever lost it.
Mm. And I'm sure there wasn't any muscle wasting because you were lifting weights and hitting protein. So it was all healthy weight loss, despite it being kind of rapid there.
It seemed like it.
Yeah. Um. Now I know a few men that have lost a lot of weight. Have talked about doing some kind of a loose skin procedure. Is that something that you see in your future?
I would have to have insurances help with that. So it really depends on insurance. I have been documenting like when I get like certain rashes and stuff, just because I know there's no, if I don't document it, then they're not gonna, I know they won't cover it. So I've been documenting that with my doctor. She does great with that stuff. So it could be. I
Yeah,
can't tell you yes or no though.
yeah. And documentation is just for to get the medical necessity uh,
Mhm.
on that, right? Yeah.
The only thing I would want though is the stomach. Like the rest of me, I feel like I'm okay. And like especially my arms, I would never touch my arms. But my inner thighs are kind of bad and my back's kind of bad. But really, the only thing would want to get rid of is the apron stomach. So
Yeah. You look great. I can see you got guns and you're pretty solid.
thank you.
How tall are you?
It's a joke in my family. I say I'm 5'9" or 5'9" and a half, but my kid and my wife feel like I'm like closer to 5'9". So it's a long story, but I was, and like people make fun of me, like my wife and my kids make fun of me all the time because I've been shrinking since high school. So I was like 5'11" and a half, 6 foot at some point in high school, and I've been shrinking ever since. So
That's
it's
crazy.
a yeah, I think that has something to do with my back, but I think the weight also with everything, because I have degenerative discs in
Yeah.
my back, so I think a lot of it is all the weight related, and then so yeah.
That's good. When I see you on, social media, I always imagine you that you were like 6'3", 6'2", 6'3", around there. Look much taller on social media than
Jamie is 6'2", and I met Jamie, if you know Triplet Dad Jamie.
yeah.
He, and there's a picture of me, and I tell people I was standing in a hole next to him, but there was no hole. So he's yeah. You could tell. I'll have to send you that picture sometime.
Yeah, that's cool. Do you have any regrets on your journey? Is there
No,
something that you wish you would have done differently or had gone differently?
no. I think
No.
everything happened to me for a reason, even the broken neck. Um, I can my story is me, and God gave me my story. Whether it was, I'm not saying God did it to me, but God's going to use my story to help somebody else one day. So that's that's my whole thing. I don't regret being overweight. I don't regret the way I lost the weight. I don't regret anything because I wouldn't be where I'm at if I did. I feel like so.
I love that mindset because it's, our experiences and our trials and tribulations that make us who we are. It gives us the fortitude to press forward, and that's very needed on a journey such as this. So I really appreciate that mindset. If someone was to come to you and saying they were getting started on not just a GLP-1 journey necessarily, but a health and wellness journey, what advice would you give them?
Give yourself time and grace. Know that it's not a perfect perfection. That you're going to have days that are going to be off, but that doesn't mean that those off days are going to ruin your whole life.
Love that. All right, you got some time for some Q&A?
Sure, yeah.
Let's see what we got. Mel wants to know, why do you believe you were doctor, meds, etc.? Was there a specific event that occurred?
I think that's just the man in me. I think that was just I was anti everything because I felt like we talked about it being a man, wanting to, do it on my own. Like I don't need nobody's help. Like I said, man, I grew up one of eight boys, very poor, uh, and I always felt like I had to work for whatever I was going to earn.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a multifaceted kind of answer. It's the I'm a man, I can do it myself type thing. There's the financial component, but you grow up poor, you don't have the funds necessarily to go see a doctor. So you deal with it the best you can, and you can't take time off of work because your household needs that paycheck and all of those things. So there's that and a multitude of other reasons that we have to contemplate. So I appreciate
I
that.
didn't have insurance until I paid for it myself, which is
Wow.
insane to me. Like I was in my 20s when I had insurance, and once I got married, I had my wife, and then once we had our kid, like we had insurance for them immediately because I wasn't going to have my kids not have, normal stuff like dentist and doctor visits and all that stuff. I was totally for them doing it. I just was never privy to going to the doctor or anything like that when I was younger. So
All right, another from Mel. Why do each of you think women react to often treat patients differently?
I think men look with their eyes, and they not so much that they're judging or anything like that. Men doctors diagnose with their eyes, and I think women doctors diagnose with what they hear or what they know a little bit better, if I could say that. And I'm not saying that's every doctor. Just those are the ones that I'm experienced with. So
Yeah. I would agree with that. And I would add that there's probably also the same mentality that we fight with every day. Just you should just go tough it out, suck it up, rub the dirt on it, instead of coming here complaining to me about your medical conditions, even though I love taking your money from you, type thing. get out of my
Exactly.
office. So I think there's probably some of that mentality going on there as well. Grant, my man Grant. Uh, Thank y'all for another good live. Any advice, AJ, on how not to get burned out in the gym?
Find stuff you like doing. So, like, you know, if you like Pilates or you like yoga or you like swimming or you like cardio or you like weights, me personally, I enjoy weights more than I enjoy doing cardio. I do cardio because it's necessary, but I don't do it in excess like I used to because it would burn me out. Like I said, I used to do on other health journeys that I'd had before this, I used to do like an hour or two in the gym just doing cardio. So yeah, just find stuff that you like doing.
Are you rotating um, your body groups?
Yeah, I do a
Legs one
bro
day, arms
split.
away. What was that?
I do a bro split as they call it. So it's like
Yeah.
I do well right now I change it up I change it up all the time. So but right now I do like chest and back one day, core day, legs, day off, and then do it again, and then do it again, day off. So I do one day off a week.
So you're in the gym 6 days a week.
Yeah, yeah. But it's a mental thing for me just as much as it is a physical thing because I just like it's like I can clear my head, I can go lift weights, and I can think about what I have to do that day, and I feel like it just zens me and it gets me centered and it gets me actually I feel like I'm more productive after the gym or before the gym sometimes just because I know like it's like a calming thing for me.
Are you a morning lifter or morning gym
I
person,
do.
I should say?
It depends on it depends. Some yes and some no. So like right now I have a gym partner that I go with on Mondays and Thursday nights. And then the other days I go in the morning. So if it wasn't for the gym partner, I probably would be a morning lifter. But I really enjoy working out with him, so I work out with him on Mondays and Thursdays.
All right. I saw this one without, I saw a few of these without cues in front of them, so I had to go find it. Please, just a reminder, if you're going to ask a question, please put the cues in front so I can easily filter to it. But Travel Techie wants to know, what was your process to gain muscle after 228 pounds, nutrition and training, track your muscle mass, etc.?
Uh, sorry. I don't know that I'm gonna really track my muscle mass. I know like just by looking, pictures, taking pictures. I'm sorry. Excuse me. So I just, I still track my macros and everything. Right now, I'm sorry, I'm trying to get to 240. I wanted to get down, and I'm gonna try to do that by March 1st. And then from there, I'm gonna just try to stay around 240. So I'm gonna add some calories to my diet to get me to where I could stay at 240 and be consistent. And then after that, I'm gonna start going. For me, it's strength. Strength will build my muscle, and I know that. So if I'm getting stronger in the gym, I know that the muscle's gonna come with it.
I don't think I asked you, what dose did you titrate up to?
Did I
You back up to
titrate
10?
back up to?
You back up to 10, or did you
No, no, I'm at 5
5? And you doing that weekly or every other week, or
right now. I'm doing weekly. I don't know if I'll have to do it. I might even drop to 2.5 weekly or do I there was spots in my journey because I thought I was losing uh coverage a lot where I would go like 10 days without taking a shot sometimes. So
yeah.
like I know I could do every 10 days if I wanted to. Just right now financially I'm okay and paying for it and everything. So I know I can do every week, so I've been doing every week.
And Travel Techie wants to know, did you feel certain training and foods to be most effective or preferred than others?
Um, so when I was really cutting, when I was really doing it, I was keeping my carbs to about 100 carbs a day. So, but in order to do that and then still be able to train like I wanted to, I had to have the fat up. So I was eating a lot of avocados and chicken, basically. That was my more like preferred thing to do when I was really cutting, when I was cutting hard. But then I went back to I'm boring, man. I'm sorry, guys. It's chicken, broccoli, and rice is what I eat on a normal day, and then like eggs and oatmeal in the morning. I'm like the most boringest. Like I don't do a lot of like extra stuff to it. I just season it. I do season my food, even though Pug says I don't. I season my food, but I'm very boring. So
Okay. Yeah, you found something that works for you, and that's all that matters, you know?
I like it personally, but that's just
Yeah. And Bellflower, I think we just touched on this actually. Do you have to rotate your body groups when strength training?
you don't have to, but I like to because they say in the studies that I've read, it takes 48 hours for your body to recover in certain muscle groups. So if you really work out a muscle group really hard, it's going to take 48 hours before you. And I like to be able to work out, you know, kill off a lot of calories. I don't know a lot of calories, but I kill off a bunch of what I think is a bunch of calories when I'm working out. So if I didn't do that, like if I did a full body every day, it wouldn't work because I wouldn't be able to have the recovery like I would want to. So
Great answer. Trying to find if there's any other questions in here that don't have the Q in front of them. That was it. Do have a super chat, so I want to shout out G's. Thank you, G's, for that super chat. Appreciate you as always, brother.
thank you.
Any other questions from anyone? If not, then I guess we will call it good. Again, AJ, I appreciate you jumping on and telling your story. I think your journey is amazing. Oh, there was one thing that it just popped in my mind. There was a story that I remember you telling maybe a year ago on a panel that I was with you. I think it was a panel that I was on with you. Maybe it was one of Sabrina's um,
Yeah,
panels.
probably one the men panel.
Yeah, you you told a story about a guy came into your shop and said, "I want that fat guy that helped me last time."
So I've known a lot of my customers. So I worked at a desk for the last 20 years, which I'm out of the office now. I do outside sales now, and it's a shop going crazy. Like so, I worked at a desk for 20 years, and I was standing at the end of the desk doing some paperwork on my computer, typing up, and this Hispanic guy, great guy. I've known him for probably 15, 20 years. He comes in, he's like, "Where's the fat guy at?" And I look up off the computer, and I'm like, "Right here. What do you need?" And he goes, "No, the fat guy that sits right there." And he like pointed to where I used to sit, and I was like, "It, it's me, Raphael. It's me." He says, "What?" Like that. It was really funny. He was shocked, but I didn't know that was like I always knew that I got treated differently for being overweight. Like I knew like people didn't like me or they talked about me behind my back and stuff like I just knew just I'm not dumb, you know,
Yeah.
And but I didn't know it was to that extent, if that
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah.
Like I didn't think that they would just and he, you know, he's still a great guy. I don't hold him against it. You know, it's just he was right. I was. They always knew me that way, and it is what it is. You know, like I'm
Yeah.
not mad at him for it. I still sold him tires, and he still went on his merry way, and I still took care of him like I always did. And it is what it is. So
Yeah. I thought that story was funny, because I think a lot of us have those same type of experience, not probably to that extent where someone comes up to you and asks, "Where's that fat guy at?" But um, a lot of us have those experiences where there's someone that hasn't seen us for a while and they don't recognize us. Like I had something similar. Way my company is structured, it's a parent company, and we have sister platforms. And I worked at one of those platforms for 20 years, and I worked with a lot of these people for a lot of those 20 years, and we had a platform wide um, conference where the different platforms came together, and I walked up to talk to a few of them, and they had no idea who I was. I'm walking up to them, giving them hugs, and they're looking at me crazy, like, "Who's this guy?" And they
it
stepped
was
back
like
and
I
looked at
touched
me and
him.
say, "Charles?" And it's like, "Yeah." Yeah, no. So a lot of us have those same kind of experiences when we um, shed those larger bodies. So that story just resonated with me. I meant to ask you about it earlier, and I just thought about it again before we getting ready to say goodnight. Um,
No,
but
I loved it, man.
yeah,
It was so funny. It we like me and the guys laughed about it afterwards.
yeah,
Like he walked away, got in his truck, pulled it inside. We were all laughing, cracking up because it was just so funny. But it is what it is. I'm not even. I wasn't even mad. I was shocked. I was just like,
yeah,
wow. It was just like one of those things, but it was funny. So
yeah. Well, again, I appreciate you for hopping on tonight. Again, I think your story is amazing, for all the things that you've overcome, and the health outcomes that you've changed going forward. I think you have extended your life, and I think you're an inspiration to many. And if you would like to follow AJ, sorry, I just got a question that popped in. Give me just a sec.
that's all right.
I'm not, did you get treated buff? I'm not sure what that buffet, or was it meant
Was
different?
it
And you,
differently? Is it supposed to be, or did you
yeah,
get treated
yeah.
differently
He
if
he
they
just
knew
he
you took
just
the shot?
he just corrected, said it should be different, not buffet. Did you get treated different if they knew that you took the shot? So were you looked at
Honestly,
as you were cheating?
honestly, I've never cared because I got my health, and I'm gonna be able to walk my girls down the aisle. You know, so I can care less if somebody's like, you know, you cheated. I mean, what am I cheating? It's life. And people have cheated in way different ways than just me getting my health. So I didn't do it for other people's opinions of me. Not that saying I don't care what other people think, but when it comes to my health, I don't care what people think. So
Yeah. Yeah, and I don't think anyone that I know of has treated me different. When I first started my journey, I kind of kept it on the low. It was one of those things where I was embarrassed, um, to have to resort to a shot, because I have that mentality, that you're a man, you're supposed to figure it out and get it done. And I had all success in all these different aspects of my life, but this is one thing that I continually failed at. So I was embarrassed initially when I started taking a shot, and then I just said, "F it." So here I am now on social media, and I'm evangelizing to my family. I got my dad on it, my mom, my stepmom, a sister, my aunt, my uncle. uh, two uncles and two aunts actually, and a cousin. So um, they've all found inspiration from my story. So there's nothing to be ashamed of or embarrassed about.
Mhm.
It's you learn that it's a disease, it's a biological chemical imbalance that you have no control over, and if people can understand that, then to hell with them.
Yeah, I my low point was when I broke my neck, and there were spots in those weeks where I was having issues keeping my bowels. Uh, those that was embarrassing, you know. So like me taking a shot to lose some weight, that ain't got nothing to do.
Yeah,
that didn't that ain't got nothing to do with it. So it
yeah,
just yeah, man. I'm shoot, and that's why I men should. That's why I feel I shared my journey. I started posting a week after I started, and then so like it's cataloged all on TikTok if you guys ever want to just go scroll all the way back. But I'm sorry, there's a lot of videos, but they I categorized it so everybody knows how I was thinking every week on it, and in doing the training and everything like so. I mean, if you ever want to go check it out, you can go check out like my first 30 videos is me talking about being on it and all that stuff. So
and if you want to follow AJ, I have his socials in the description of this video, TikTok and Instagram. He is a great follow. He is a very inspirational person. He very much in the vein of Jamie, who I've had on before. I can't think of his last name right now. Not Jamie Triple's dad, but the Jamie A.
Seltzer,
Yeah, Seltzer. Yeah,
yeah,
very much in the same vein. Motivate you to take that first step now. Why wait? Those kind of things. So, and you scroll through his story or scroll through his catalog and see some of his journey and really appreciate it. So please give him a follow.
he's an amazing person,
Yeah,
and I I wish I could speak as well as he could because he says something that I think sometimes it's
yeah,
perfect, and I'm like,
yeah,
man, I thought that I just didn't know the words to say it. So he does a
yeah.
great job.
Jamie's awesome. Jamie is awesome.
Yeah,
But again, thank you very much. I want to thank everyone for showing up in the chat and sitting with us tonight. I appreciate you all, and I will see you on the next one. Hope you all have a great night, and we will talk to you later.
bye, man.